Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Autodromo Hermanes Rodriguez here in Mexico. What a country, what a fan base, and what a track we have. The long straight down to turn one, the chicane, the straight, then that cheeky S section, then we go into one of the best parts of a track you've ever seen in stadium section. Joining me in the commentary box again is Mr. Stumpy. Welcome, sir, how are you?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Very good, very good. Welcome to Mexico.
Yeah, it's going to be hot, humid, and in this qualifying session, as you say, fans around here are absolutely brilliant. One of the longest straights on the calendar. So obviously this session we're going to lose only three, but when we're going for pole position ideally isn't really where you want to be, I don't think.
No, that is an interesting topic that we will come on to very shortly. It's a very long run down to turn one. Right, if you haven't joined us for a full qualifying session in Endurance Tier, let us fill you in. It's 18 minutes of Q1. The top 15 will go through, so we're going to lose 3. The two drivers that aren't here, Vitek and Jacko, they will be joining us for the Grand Prix tomorrow. So they're going to start at the back of the grid. So those two who are not here will come in tomorrow. We'll have a full grid for tomorrow. 15. Then we have 15 minutes after this to separate the next 5, get them out of the lobby. They can go for an early bed or bath. And then we go for a top 10 shootout, don't we, Stumpy, in Q3 for 12 minutes?
Yep, that's how it's pieced out, and I think this qualifying format, it really does work. It adds excitement to the whole program. I really enjoy it. I know they're talking about adjusting it in real life, and that'll filter through into the game if it does. But it'll be a shame to see these knockout sessions be removed if it does go ahead.
Fun fact, Mexico City is sinking every year due to water. Thank you. I'll tell you another place that's doing that, Venice. So yeah, we got the weather situation, everybody, is the only people that will know are the drivers. So it's a light cloud kind of session for this qualifying. Tomorrow is heavy rain start going to dry, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, maybe you don't want to be pole for that. Why don't you want to be pole, Stumpy, if you can try and explain?
Well, if it's normal conditions, you wouldn't want to be pole, just simply because of the slipstream effect. You've got such a long run down into turn one, into the braking zone, and you do not have a car in front of you to punch a hole through the air, creating less resistance. So you want to be ideally the second or even the third car and get that slipstream effect and possibly pass. But of course it's wet tomorrow, so you might want to be on pole. You've got clear track, you can see, where others behind you will just have just spray water or anything in their vision. They won't be able to see a thing.
Yeah, we haven't had a fully wet start this season. The time has come. Mexico City, beautiful tropical storm is just leaving, and yeah, it's quite a short track, 4.3 kilometers. That means we'll have quite a lot of laps tomorrow, 71 in total, to cover that minimum 305 kilometer requirement. Most of you will know that Mexico is a very high altitude circuit. Mr. Horner said that they actually run the lowest wings possible because they don't need any higher, because it's a high altitude circuit. Obviously in the game that isn't quite copied. I don't know what wings you've run, Stumpy. Do you have any idea? I have no idea.
Something, imagine something like 3.7 or 4.7 or something, just to get you through that S section. Obviously, tyre degradation here is quite high, I believe.
Yeah,
which will make it interesting to see for Q2 later.
Yeah, it is quite high deg. So it's got a DRS zone down to 1, a DRS zone down to 4, and then there is another one, isn't there? On this map it says from 11 to 12. I can't remember in the game if that... Is there a DRS going down to stadium?
It's just before, yeah, there's a little short section just before you enter the right hand as you come into the stadium section, so that's the third one. They added a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, just on board with Stephen there, who's hit the line. So there's the white line, just after turn 11, and then you have it all the way down to, of course, when you break into 12. Would you care to take us on a lap of Mexico, Stumpy? With let's go with who's close to the line here. AFL's quite close to the line. Would you like to take us on a lap on board with the Ferrari?
Yeah, sure. Let me find him. Here we are. He's just preparing his lap now. To straighten up that car to get the power down because you've got all this straight now, so you need that power. The RS is open, 8th gear, over 200 mile an hour. We'll start keeping the car to the left now. Anchors on, throw it in, bit of curb there. This bit is crucial to not invalidate your lap. A bit of a slide there, and opens the second DRS, middle of the road. Put it right for the left-hander, and the curb's gone a bit deep there. That's going to compromise his entry. He's ran wide, but that lap is still valid. Double right-hander on the power early. Let the car run out wide, and now just throw it into the S section. Full commitment through these parts. You've got to be ever so... Oh, and he's had to back out because he's got that bit of a time stopper there.
We can still carry on, Stumpy.
Yeah. And again, he's coming back into the stadium section. And... yeah, that bit's just beautiful, isn't it?
It's amazing.
I mean, it's beautiful to watch, but I feel they've ruined the old track by doing that, but nevertheless, it would be a short run to the line for the quickest route for that time.
Thank you, Stumpy. A good point made by Blaze that pole is dreadful. It is, but you get 2 points for it. So, is it worth sacrificing maybe a pole position with the wet start? We know it's going to be a little bit easier. Renault's just gone off at turn 11 there. He's on his way back to the pits, I think. You want to try and save your tyres. You only have a set allocation, of course.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin too many. Just for these faster guys, this Q1 is just basically a lap to get through to Q2. So they don't want to burn too many tyres. And that's key around here because of invalidations being so likely. You know, you need to get a lap on the board. But a fairly decent one at the same time.
100%. Hello everybody in the stream. Thank you for joining me and Stumpy for a Mexico qualifying and hopefully a 71 lap race tomorrow night. We've only got 3 races left after this. We have Silverstone. Well, let me check the order because I always forget. We have, Silverstone, Zandvoort, and then Abu Dhabi. On board with Hobbsy in the Red Bull. He's leading the championship at the moment by 15 points. Only won 1 or 2. I'll have to check with the power rankings. There's only 2 drivers that have won 2 races this season. We've had 5 different race winners in 7. Big Balls Bowles, who's won 2 of the last 3. And Hobbsy early on in the season. Here he comes in a turn 4 and 5. Gets a little bit slow there. Now, of course, we were discussing in Monza, you don't have to drive to your best, the best of your ability in Q1. You just have to get through. But there will be a fight, won't be, at the bottom, because no one will want to go out in the bottom 3. I mean, I think that's for certain, right?
Oh, and Hobbsy, the pressure's going to be on now because he's just invalidated. So that's not ideal for him. And of course, his championship rival behind him, 18th on the grid is C-Max. And well, he's still valid at the minute. I think he's actually on a lap, but he's stuck behind White, who does get out of the way as he comes into the stadium section. So it looks like C-Max is going to get a lap on the board, and Hobbsy is not. But he does go again.
Max does get a lap across. 1 minute 15.259 goes 4th. We've got Jay Lawler 5.81. Big Bowles 6.03 into the 14s. And Wizard, who got his 17th to 2nd in Monza, is P3 at the moment. Stephen Alfie and Spud up there. Spud with his new name. He's joined the esports team for COS, and they seem to be recruiting quite a few people. How's Suleiman doing? Getting very shaky as we leave turns 7 and 8 in his Williams car.
Yeah, and just keeping an eye on Hobbsy. He has gone again, as I've said, and this lap is obviously going to be looking a little more cautious. He doesn't want to invalidate again. Yeah, big lift through the S's there. Comes up behind Ramos, but that's no problem. 55.9 for sector 2. Goes in. His green flag's showing, so any incident has been cleared. He's close to running wide there. This looks like he's got a lot of understeer in that car. Of course, the track's not really rubbing in yet. That's a 15-1, and that puts him P4 at the moment.
Sadistic King. I think he's on a lap. He's got his battery on overtake mode, sorry, hot lap mode, and he's activating that rear wing at the back of his Mercedes, going down to turn 12. My lucky number. Maybe we see a few cheeky moves. I've seen moves down there in the past go right and also go horribly wrong. I never knew the podium was like there, like right on the right hand side as you make that turn 12. It's a good podium spot, gotta say. Here comes Sadistic King, the second Mercedes driver at the moment, crosses the line, stays 15th. Is that a worry? Yes, it is.
It's just coming through the starter lap. It's saying on mine. Well, he might just be going for another one. I'm not sure. But,
still time.
Yeah, still time. Currently in the bottom 3, we've got Hedgehog 11, AFL 1994, and FXS Ramos. So they'll be looking to improve. And 16th Hedgehog, he's got about 6 tenths to try and improve up to 15th.
J Wills is 3 tenths up. That could be potential P8 maybe, depending on how his first and final bit of the lap is. The pink Mercedes comes around the final corner, turn number 17, crosses the line, goes 7th fastest, not too bad, on 2 lap worn tyres there. Hedgehog, AFL and J-Lol are back on the out laps, and just over 5 minutes to go in this first session. Hedgehog, AFL, Ramos, including Cam, White and Sadistic, all under threat at the moment.
Yeah, and of course with the track rubbering in as we go along, Hedgehog and AFL and Ramos should be able to find some time. It's just a question of how committed they can be. Then lifts through their messes because you don't want him to validate. It costs so much time, but you've got to ease yourself into these qualifying sessions. They're not as grippy as, say, if you were practicing on time trial just moments before the session started. See how Hedgehog can do now. He's the one who could be going out. He's just started a lap.
Oh, that's risky.
He's retired from the session in 11th and 15.6. I wouldn't like to be comfortable with that time.
That is risky from Suleiman. I mean, is it worth bringing out a new tyre set just at the last second to maybe guarantee that spot? Yes, of course. You only need to be in the top 15. Still on board with Hedge, as you said, in the Haas, going down to turn number 4. Seems to be a few lag issues. I don't know if it's me or him. I don't think it's me. It's been pretty good today. And 3 temps down, I believe. And we got tasks tomorrow, Stumpy, as well, for ED2. So we can see extra things that we haven't seen this season, like tyre wear and live championship standings and damages, warnings, everything. We can see that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hedgehog's improved on his time. He's just 1 tenth down, so he's found a couple of tenths, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I think he might pit again, just to restart possibly. Maybe. He's going to commit to it. Can he get out of the bottom 15? Oh no, 16.5 at the moment. I think AFL is attempting to get out here, and I don't know if he's going to pit or carry on because he's only half a tenth. Yeah, good decision probably. He's got a lot of pressure on him, that Ferrari driver now. Ramos is at risk. He's 18th. He's just started his lap. Well, he's a little bit of a way through it. 4 and 5, trying to drag that AlphaTauri through with the back end. Goes wide into 6. So he's got a lot to recover now for this second and third part of his lap.
Yeah, he has. This lap's looking pretty scruffy, to be fair. Yeah, he's just gone too wide, and that's going to be an invalidated lap. So I think he's going to have to carry on if he wants to get a lap time. The next lap, he won't have time to pit, I don't think. Although we're usually a little bit behind, aren't we?
Yeah, by about 10 to 15 seconds probably. So Hedgehog's not going to get any higher than 16th at the moment. So that's 16th for the Haas driver. That's where he'll be starting tomorrow. Oh, he actually went off track. He actually crashed.
Oh.
I'd just seen on the map. He just crashed at turn 9 and 10. He's just gone off the map now. I didn't even notice. I thought he did it in the pit lane. So Hedgehog has been pushing that car to try and make it into Q2. And hasn't made it. So if AFL was to get into the top 15, you'd have to say White and Sadistic are at risk. Ramos has retired, so that's 18th for Ramos. So it's basically who's the last car to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I believe that's AFL coming out of the pit lane now.
Yeah, have you noticed the only 3 cars on track are the 3 cars at risk?
Yep. And Sadistic's going to be the first one to set a lap time.
This is that. Sorry, something on.
And AFL will be the last, but yeah, it's going to be tight to see if he can get over that line.
This is actually quite nerve-wracking for all of them, because Sadistic, we've seen that he has great pace. White has great pace. AFL got 10th in Monza after 18 minutes of carnage. So yeah, so that's so where's White? So he's starting now. He's on a 15.8. Sadistic is halfway through. He's on a 15.9. And AFL is on an outlap and should be able to reach the line. This is going to be scary stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As you're saying, like, the quick drivers, just some tracks don't suit certain drivers. I get it a lot. Like, a few tracks like I'm really good at, I just dial in really well. And others, I'm nowhere. And this track is one of them, to be fair. But, some drivers love it. Let's see what can happen. Sadistic does improve. He goes 10th.
Yeah, he does.
AFL
starts now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Sadistic goes 10th, 1,000th of a second quicker than Wyatt. So that basically secures that spot. Now it's between White and AFL. I don't want to see any of them go. Oh, White. Yeah, you were just about to say what I was going to say.
Yeah, White's invalidated. And they get to go again.
Where's his battery? He forgot to put his battery on to start the rundown to turn 1.
If I'm not mistaken, White will be the last one to set a time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, AFL will be first, and then White will be second, and it's between these 2 drivers of who's going to have a shot.
And AFL's out because that is an invalidation. He was 3/10 up, but pushing a bit too hard on the exit of the double right-hander, and yeah, so that's his qualifying over, I believe.
Good spot. That is that then. AFL, Hedgehog, and Ramos out in Q1 due to a Ferrari invalidation. And do you know what? It might have looked alright to maybe beat White there. I mean, this lap, White doesn't know, of course, what's happening ahead unless he's got the stream on, so he's just cracking on. What's his second sector time? 2 tenths up, to be fair. Not a bad lap on 2 lap 1 tyres there. And White's going to finish the lap anyway. He knows AFL has crossed the line because he can see on the map, but he's going to finish it anyway. And then the session should end, and then we have a fight to get into the top 10. And White just crossed the line, goes 10th to 10th and a bit ahead of Sadistic. That's the end of the session. Hedgehog, AFL, and Ramos out. They'll be starting in those positions tomorrow evening.
Q2 is going to be quite exciting, I think. If you well, the timing's gone now, but from 10th to 15th. I think it's like 3 tenths. So, and of course, we're going to have Q2 drivers maybe trying something a bit different. I know they're going to start on wets, but they, it's quite, look at that. What, 15.5 for white and 15th? 15th place is 15.8, so yeah, it's 3 tenths.
Yeah, it's close. 1.2 leader, and the two at the front were 3 tenths away, so 9 tenths of a second from 3rd to 15th. That's great. Also, Hedgehog, AFL, Ramos, of course, they were quite far off. 7 tenths, another 3, and then another 2 seconds. So, not the best performance from those 3, and they're going to be out of the session. And I'll just quickly write that down. Rapido, P16, it's Hedgehog in the Haas, P17. It was AFL next, wasn't it? Oh no, was it AFL first and then Hedgehog?
It was Ramos
forgot.
last, then AFL, then.
Okay, yeah. I think so. I'll double check it.
Yeah, double check.
I forget already. I forgot already. And this is why pictures are required, everybody, for sufficient evidence. P18 was FXS Ramos in his Alpha Tauri. Cool. Alright. Straight into Q2 then. We have a, what do we have, a 5-minute break in real life just to sort themselves out, but not here. Well, actually no, most of the lobby were in the pits, weren't they, and retired before those two had their shootout. So yeah, technically they had their break. But this is where we crunch down now. A lot of people on the mediums. I'm hoping they all read the weather report. There's no point in obviously setting the laps in the mediums if you're struggling, at least. If you have to burn a set to get into Q3, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're just saving some tyres or something along them lines.
I mean, you can just go for the softer option and just have all softs. That is also another idea that you can do, which would save all your problems, to be honest.
Yeah, there is that. But there's no telling when, if there is a dry patch, when it'll be, how long it'll be for. That bit I understand is quite randomised in the game. Like you can in the sectors, isn't it? Certain sectors, it's whether it's third or whatever.
Fully random.
Yeah, but
you can obviously give it a guide.
Yeah.
But the actual, yeah. I know what you mean.
That'll be quite interesting to see what it decides to do.
Well, I mean, look, we've set, when ED1 and 2 were going together, we set the same weather boxes, and like Singapore, it was totally different. When the rain came in Japan, it was like 34 for ED2 and like 19 for ED1. Like, it is genuinely completely random. Like, it will do what you ask it to do, but when it wants to do it. That's the state of the weather, so we'll see. Just having a quick look at the standings. We're doing a full check after this weekend because there may be a couple points here and there that are not quite right due to the fair mixing we've had. Hobbsy 115, Max 100, White 74, Big Bows Ball 72. I mean, you can see the rest for yourselves on the website. So pretty close between the top two and then the next two as a pairing. Constructors, Red Bull were not first. Somehow in the last 3 weeks they absolutely smashed it and gone first by 50 points, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it has. Red Bull 186, Mercedes 136, Renault 134. McLaren getting close behind. McLaren's got a good team this weekend. Wizard, who got, of course, second in Monza, and then Jay Lawler, who's come in, had pole in Monza but got a grid penalty and did an amazing comeback drive in another league I watch on Sunday. So interesting to see how the McLarens do this weekend.
Yeah, we will be talking of a McLaren. Wizard has just gone second on a 15.7 on the medium tyres here. So quite a good lap time from him. As the other medium runners are in the 16s.
Yep, Alfie's at top of the charts, 15.4. And this is, if you want to get into a top 10 shootout, show me the money, basically. It's all down to you now. You've got an extra set of softs available. You'll have, obviously, the medium or soft from the tyre compound selection menu you choose. And there's El Wire invalidating there. A lot of invalidations come out of turn 9, don't they, which is the final part of the S before you hit that DRS. Like, probably more than half are there.
It's low. I mean, you know, you've got turn 2 and 3, which is that chicane. The problem with the track is, like I've said, you've got to commit to it. And it's not like slow commitment. You've got to commit at speed, and once you've committed, you can't back out because you lose time. So if you've got it wrong, there's your lap. Lawler's doing. Getting a bank on the board at the minute. 18-2, that's not very representative.
Thank you for everyone in the stream as well. Great viewership for Endurance all season. Me and Stumpy highly appreciate it. And we've had some good times. I mean, Hungary was great and Monza was great. So they've just got to keep it up for us now.
Yeah, and this one usually does bring up, it's usually a classic due to, usually in a dry race it's strategies, but I imagine with a wet race it's going to be just as fast, furious and slippy.
Fast, furious and slippy, yeah. I mean, the run down to turn 1 is going to be crazy. I mean, as well as the whole of lap 1 is going to be crazy. It's going to be a madness. And then when the rain stops, like you say, strategy does come into it. Like, what is the strategy when it comes in? 71 laps. I would predict that there is a chance with the weather boxes that I want to do, the rain will be there for half of the race. I do hope it's just a little bit less, just like so we can see that strategy that you're talking about. But I have a feeling it'll probably be about halfway. So I don't know what the tyres can do. I haven't done Mexico in 100% career for a very long time. I don't know how many laps for softs, mediums, the hards. I'm pretty sure the hards are useless. But I have no idea. I've been watching Hobbsy, by the way, this whole lap. He's about to come round the final corner and set his time. 14.8. That's where we seem to be at the moment, the 14s, isn't it?
Yeah. And can we get someone in the 13s before this session is out? There's not really much point. It's like testing for the big guys, the real quick guys in this session, because there's no point showing your hand, your lap time. You just need to get through. And at the minute we've only got 8 guys with a representative time at the moment. So I've made that 9 now after Stephen's just placed a lap. And so we've got Brewer, X-Cam, Elwhite, Solomon, and someone else has just posted the time. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 to set a time.
2 Red Bulls looking okay at the top. Jay Lawler with the time on the mediums. On board with Brewer, who's coming round the final corner. We can go on board with Cam actually. He's just ahead, who started his fast lap too. So it'll be Cam, then Brewer at the moment. Jay Will's in front of Brewer, L. Wyatt behind Cam. They're on their out laps. It's getting crunch time now. And some of these are going to be out in the next 7 minutes or so. Kos Suleiman's going to have to put some work in because he hasn't got a lap time in yet either in his Williams car.
And the danger to some of these guys who've put a time on the medium is that they don't improve on a soft tyre, i.e. through invalidations. So this could be their best time of the session, and the guys behind could improve. So it is a bit of a dangerous game. Full confidence that they could deliver on the softs, but you never know what can happen. So that's very interesting.
Absolutely, just seen Cam invalidate. So he's going to have to go again or pits. I think he's going to try for that second lap in a row. Here comes Brewer in his Renault. Try and get into the top 10. We know he can. Had some good results. He goes third fastest, 15.055. Not too bad. How's Al Wyatt doing? Well, he's making his way down to turn 4, and then he's got Jay Wills behind. So we'll keep on board with the Haas for a little bit, because he's got to try and get into the top 10. And the fight continues on. I'm still surprised to see the miles that come out, Stumpy, to be honest. He is under threat.
Yeah, he is. So 5 minutes 40 left, so maybe he's just doing the one shot. We will see, but just like to notice in the constructors, I believe, is it Renault and Mercedes? They've got quite close in the constructors, and Renault lying 3 and 4 on the grid at the minute, and one in Mercedes currently in the drop zone with C-Max only 9th, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops throughout the session.
Wyatt's gone 4th fastest, not bad from the Haas driver. 15.2, it's very close, isn't it? 15 dead to 15.6. Jay Wills crosses the line, goes 800 faster than Wyatt into P4. The Racing Point car, leader gap on screen for a second, and you can see from 10th up to Brewer in 3rd is only just over half a second, 6/10 of a second. Separating 3rd to 10th, it's getting quite close. I have a feeling Q3 is going to be close as well. Hobbsy is not 4.5 tenths away from his teammates, so maybe he's sandbagging that pace a little bit. Who knows?
Possibly. 15 points in the lead, I think, in the championship. You were
Correct.
saying. C-Max currently in 12th, so the pressure's on C-Max now to deliver a lap to get him into Q3.
Absolutely, big championship battles. Max getting 3 points on Hobbsy last weekend for finishing 2nd, and Hobbsy 3rd. On board with Jay Lawler. Pole last week, got taken off him for a slight track infringement. Well, I say slight, it was a few track infringements. But we know he's got pace, and he's on a fresh set of softs. They look quite shiny at the front in his McLaren car, racing for Bruce, aka Liverpool fan, this weekend. Jake's points won't go on to McLaren, but he will keep the points he earns, as he's a reserve driver in endurance. Same for Hedge, he's driving in replacement of Mills. Hedge will get points if he gets any, but Mills' car, his points will be scored for Haas, because that is Mills' job. Jay Lolo whipping it through 8 and 9. Oh, he's gone wide! How much fuel has he got in the car? Is that only, it's 1.9, so he should have enough fuel to do another lap, but he's in trouble, isn't he? Not long left.
No, Jay Wills is retired in the pits, so he's comfortable with that with a 15.1.
Spud is 8th, maybe at risk. He's invalidated. Oh, good, putting your mediums away and using them to put a bank lap in, but then if you can't produce the goods and get a good soft run in and get into Q3, then that's the risk you take. Wizard Alfie all on out laps. Max is on a lap currently in his Mercedes going down to turn 1. Steven, Sadistic and Clausen are now out of the pits on out laps though. I have a feeling this is going to be quite a tasty end to a Q2 session that I have looked forward to today, and hopefully it proves so much. I don't know, English. It's not my forte.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping my eyes on C-Max to see if he can get into Q3, because this is going to be absolutely massive for the championship. If he can't, he's 4 tenths up at sector 1, but he did run a bit deep. So let's see how the rest of the lap does develop. He's not far from the sector 2 line now. Yeah, he's nearly a second up, so this is... If he can keep it within the lines, this is going to be good for him. And potentially put him in the top 3 if he can improve any more in the final sector. Keep it right now, shortest run to that line. Second.
Yeah, it's good. Spud, sorry. I don't know why the Mercedes. Well, here comes Spud before I say my point. Goes 3rd, not bad. Next car to cross is a Williams. To start his lap, Clausen. Next one is a McLaren of Wizard, I believe, who's not invalidated. Doesn't invalidate often. Coming through stadium section, can Wizard solidify his place in the Q3 shootout? Coming through the final corner, turn number 17. Wizard crosses the line and goes first. It's not bad. It's a 14.2. Haas is next. El Wire outlap, then Cam outlap, and then a racing point of Alfie. Official lap. Alfie's 10th at the moment, right on the cusp as he slides his way. He's picked Mercedes out of that corner, crosses the line. Alfie goes 6th fastest, and Stephen Stumpy is next.
Yeah, Stephen's 7/10 up at the minute, so it's gonna be good. But it's just like a domino effect. It's just changing every minute now. At the minute, White has fallen into the drop zone, and he's about to start his flying lap to see if he can improve. But it's so tight. Look at him, just a couple of tenths.
Yeah, sadistic, not good. He's crossed the line in time, but it only got a 16.3. That's appalling by his standards. Coles Clausen is coming round the final corner now in his Williams. He's shaky, but he controls it, crosses the line. Only 12th fastest. He's going to have to go again, but he stopped. And Matt Suleiman, I'm sure, out of quality. Jay Wills has retired in 9th place. Not the best place because Jay Lawler is under a lot of pressure. He's technically, on paper, one of the quickest in the tier, and he's 13th, and he's going through the S section. And this is going to be nervous times, and look how careful he's trying to take it. You don't want to push that white line. You don't want to crush it either as he comes through 9. Does it invalidate this time? Not too bad. The other racing point crosses the line. Alfie goes 4th fastest. Then comes Cam, only 14th fastest for him. Stumpy J. Lawler's next in his McLaren.
Yeah, and I'm just watching White as well, who's 11th, and he's 4/10, so it's going to be so close between them all. Who's going to end up in the drop zone? Lawler, he goes 3rd fastest, drops White down to 12th. He comes to the line. Where does he go? He goes 4th. So that's Wills, who retired on a 15-1 out, and El Wire, he's in the pits. Suleiman's, he's out as well, so we're done, I think, for Q2.
Correct. J Wills out. El Wyatt out. Cos Clausen out. Came out too late. Should have got a lap in earlier. Cam out in P14. And Sadistic King. That is not what the Mercedes driver would have wanted. At the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. He's 15th place. And J Wills will be starting P11 tomorrow night. Top 10 shootout will consist of Wizard, Big Bows Bowles, Jay Lawler, White, Max, Alfie, Spud, Hobbsy, Brewer and Stephen. And boy, do we have a good Q3 in store for you.
Yeah, we do. I mean, in that qualifying session there, I mean, we had 2 Red Bulls with 2 Renaults right behind them, and then at the end we've got 2 McLarens throwing their say in the hat, so it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to come out on top.
Absolutely. I'll just take a quick picture and type of that very quickly so we get the grid right tomorrow. So El Wire, not bad, 12th place. J Wills, again, not the end of the world, but there's not really a benefit to starting 11th tomorrow because everyone, I can guarantee, will be on the heavy wet tyre. But there we go, that's the end of the session. Look how close it was though. I mean, from 9th to 12th, you're looking at what, a 10th and a half there, Stumpy? That's close.
Yeah, it is close. I mean, we did call it in Q2, end of Q3, sorry, about how close it would be, and it did prove to be, and I think this qualifying 3 is going to be extremely close as well, especially for the first 3 positions, 4 positions maybe.
When did Wizard become Greece? He's doing that in respect of the death of a very famous monarch today in this country, that's why. I don't know, I can't quite remember what the Greek represents, but it does represent something, I'm sure. You wouldn't have done it for no reason. We do have tasks tomorrow, so everyone will be on their official driver number nationalities. I just need to check with some drivers if they're correct or not, because Wizard will be in charge of setting up the tasks on admin side, and then I've got the task of setting it up on commentary side, so that me and Stumpy can access it. It's very good. I'm sure you all know, you've seen it all in action in the other tiers. And the Q3 clock has begun. A couple of clouds have got over the circuit, but I can promise you it won't rain. And yeah.
McLaren was first out, so they're going to be the ones to put their their first banker on, and it's Wizard. Wizard seems very comfortable around here, doesn't he? He went out, he did 2 on the mediums, I think, and did some respectable lap times on the mediums, and then 1 lap on the softs, bang. I saw a bit of a lag for Wizard. Hopefully that doesn't interfere the session at all for him.
Yeah, so Mexico, of course, isn't the longest lap. They should have 2 runs. I'm sure they will have enough time for 3, but definitely 2, as on most circuits. So you've got to run now, get your lap in, probably on a set of soft tyres that you've done 1 run on already, and then you get given 1 brand new free set of soft if you make it into Q3. So we're probably going to either use it now, get the lap in, and hope they don't invalidate later, or do the opposite, get a lap in on used softs already, and then put the fastest lap they possibly can without invalidating on that final car. I have a feeling, Stumpy, tomorrow, although the weather's going to play a part, and strategy later on, it may be a penalty fest at some point.
Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple of DSQs. Obviously, the weather will slow that down. I think, obviously, because you drive slower in the wet, you're more within your limits, so you won't pick up as many in the first half of the race. But later on, when the track rubbers in, grips up, you'll be taking more chances, more committed through the corners, more danger of running wide and picking up them penalties. So we'll see. I'm just interested to see, obviously we've got 2 Red Bulls in the session, and we've got 2 McLarens,
2 Renaults.
2 Renaults. If any of them will help their teammate out with a tow of any sort.
We haven't seen much of that, have we? I mean, we have had opportunities and scenarios where there have been 2 lots of a constructor, Red Bull being primarily one of them, but we haven't seen much towing. We did see it in EU1 yesterday night. We saw a bit of towing in the qualifying in Austria. Here comes Wizard, first man to set a time, 1:14.2. Matsi's going to be next across the line. Didn't make for that. Oh, he's getting a tow off. Wizard, cheeky boy. Red Bull next is going to be Big Bow's Balls. Goes 13.9. We're into the 13s, which is good to see. Last week's race winner.
It's a pretty respectable first lap, isn't it? Especially around here where invalidations are king. But Wizard picks up where he left off in the last session, so looking comfortable.
Yeah.
What can Hogsy deliver? Obviously, he's on his 8 lap at the minute, and his championship rival C-Max, he is actually on a lap. See what sort of pace he's doing. Obviously, with them clouds, a bit of cloud cover, the track might not be as hot as it was before, which actually might help the tyres in these sort of conditions.
That's a good point, yeah. And White crossed the line 15.6, Spud 15.2, Stephen 14.8. You can see the rest there. Wizard beating J Lawler by a tenth, and Alfie 3 tenths behind J Lawler. Here comes Matt in the Mercedes across the line. It's a 15.1, goes ahead of Spud, but behind Stephen, way off the pace at the moment. Who's going to be first out of these 2 who have not got a lap in? Hobbsy will be first, but he's quite far away from the line. He's gone purple first sector. If that's true or not, I don't know. We'll have tasks hopefully for maybe a quali session next week, and we can see lots of purple boxes flash up. It helps me a lot in EU1. Trust me, when I see a purple box, I just look at it and go, right, okay, this guy's on a good lap. Hobbsy's lap seems okay though, Stumpy. He's rooting through the Essex currently. Oh, well. Yeah, that was a big cut. Do you think people getting to be cutting it too much? Like being too risky rather than just throwing it through? I don't know. It's probably not the best question to ask, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's
are you too focused on cutting it too much than actually just driving it? That's what I mean. Yeah, that's probably a better way to ask it.
You do have to cut quite a bit of some of these corners for lap time, and it's different when it's in the race, because obviously, like you're saying, it's more of a flow, and you've got to drive the track. Whereas qualifying, you have to attack like every corner, minimise as much, make the track less of the track, if you know what I mean. You know, you've got to cut as much as you can, make the corners shorter, track distance shorter, because it all produces lap time.
Yeah, batch 1 done. Halfway through the session. Everyone's had an attempt at putting a lap in. The two cars, we're just having a view of the pit lane here because the cars that are on the track are coming in. There's an Alfa Romeo coming out, and that is Spudhead. And if he's got, what's that, 15.2 at the moment. Big Ball's looking good though, isn't he? His pace has come along so much. At the start of the season, he was nowhere near. I don't even think he was in the top 8 of the championship, and now he's looking at top 3, definitely top 2, not exactly out of sight if he has a sublime final 4 Grand Prix.
Yeah, and as you were saying, he won 2 out of the last 3 races as well, so he's doing really well, isn't he?
He's given a challenge, isn't he?
Yeah, more or less 3 tenths for Wizard at the minute. Of course, that's just the first run. I'm expecting times to improve. Hobbs, might be able to push him. Big Balls might be able to push himself and improve again. Wizard, Lawler. So it's not over yet. We've got just under 5 minutes left.
Yeah, this is where you get to the crunch time. And 2 points if you get first, 1 point if you get second. It's 3 points if you can get them. On board with the Alfa Romeo of Spud, who is going to be the first car on the second run to complete a lap. Stumpy, why don't you take us through it as we've got no track action?
Yeah, absolutely. He's taken a good chunk out of them corners, but within track limits, so that's good for Spud, good for his commitment, and that's good for his lap time. He's nearly a quarter of a second up on his time, and it's saying, oh, but he's cut too much.
Well, okay, let's stop that then. That is, okay, well, we can carry on with the car behind. Mr. White, he took those corners okay. The end of the first sector is just before turn 4, coming up to it. Let's see if he's made any progress on his time. 3 tenths, not bad. Should we carry on with the Renault, Stumpy?
Yeah, why not? And he hasn't took Spud's line through there, which means the lap is valid so far. Yeah, coming up to these S's here, it's just a question of how much do you want to commit. He's cut a lot there, the big lift there, doesn't run out too wide, pulls the car to the left, and he's a second up.
Wow!
So that's big improvements, big gains.
Big gains.
Just about the gym's about to reopen, we're talking about big gains already. And yeah, straighten that car up, pull it to the right. Oh, but he's nearly lost that to the pit wall exit, but that's P5.
It's not a bad effort, to be fair, from White. It's, what was it, 15, yeah, so bang on, about a second up. That's a pretty good effort. Max and Wizard on laps. I think Wizard is just in front of him. Yes, so we'll stay on board with Wizard. You'll see a lot of flicking on the onboards, I say every week, but that's the best way to get through the cars. Oh, he doesn't take a lot there. Through turn 7, I believe that is. Into 8, into 9, through 10. I think that's 9, 10. I always forget. I'll learn it by tomorrow, don't we? On board with the McLaren here. 10th and a half up. It's not bad. Just needs that little bit more to maybe fancy a pole shot, because we don't know how much Big Balls can improve. This could be Wizard's final effort to try and get on pole. The McLaren driver hugs the right hand side, crosses the line. It's exactly a 10th off pole. Here comes Max, and he's going to have to go again because he remains 8th fastest.
Yeah, and obviously is just gearing up to start his attempt.
Boo is next, Stumpy.
Yeah, and he's marginally up, but that could gain him a place. That's how tight it is through this field. Turns right, straightens the car up, pulls it to the right, shortest run to the line. Yeah, stays 7th.
Oh, it's getting tense. Alfie's on his way down to turn 12 in a racing point. He's got Stephen behind. He's got Spud on an outlap behind. So Alfie and Stephen, the net's locked across, and probably their final runs. They can have a go on the tyres. Oh, Alfie gets slippy, super slippy. He's struggling to control that traction as he's pushing the car as far as he can. Alfie, can he beat 4th place? No, he can't. Can Stephen improve on 6th? Swaps with Alfie, puts Alfie down to 5th. That's a bit of a change, isn't it? How's Max doing? Max on a second run is a 10th up, but he needs more than that to break into the top 7. And I don't quite think he's got enough to break into the top 7. No, he doesn't. Jay Lawler in the McLaren. He'll be hoping for a pole position at the end of this session. How's he going to do? He may have got a slight toe off his teammate a couple of seconds ago. Crosses the line. Goes pole by half a tenth.
We got Hobbsy coming to the line now. Let's see what he can do. Championship leader. Goes to the line. Only 9.
Oh dear! It is only 9. Brewer cutting corners, invalidation, and the next car to cross the line is going to be the man who needs to get more than a 10th to get pole. He's only 0.02 of a second, but down. It's not good.
Slight little correction there on traction. Let's see if he's neat and tidy through here. It looks neat and tidy, but is it going to be quick? Out of the final corner, goes to the line.
Yes!
He does!
Wow, what a lap from a Red Bull driver, beating Jay Lawler so far for 4.5 hundredths of a second. Spudhead is about to come around the final corner. Can he improve on his time? Was 10th, goes 9th, fastest. Hobbsy is invalidated on his second run, so that's that over. Stephen might have gone for another run again. No, he enters the pits. Alfie is backed off as well. Can Mats do any better? No. That is, I believe, Quali done in Mexico. Big Balls beats Jay Lawler to pole by less than half a tenth of a second, and his McLaren teammate Wizard gets on the second row with Stephen alongside him. That was a good session.
Yeah, that's very good session. It's good for the championship as well, and Hobbsy down in 10th. He's got some work to do tomorrow. Big Balls. He's good, isn't he? He's on form at the minute. Lawler, second good qualifying session in a row. Wizard, nice to see him up there as well. So I'm very excited for tomorrow's race.
And that is night over. We now wait 23 hours before we crack on with 71 laps of the circuit. We'll get a quick picture on the mobile phone. That's a bit blurry. What happened there? iPhone's not done a good job there. Let me try again. There we go, that's a bit better. Maybe I was shaking with the tension. 13.882, 0.045 between the top two. J Lord's taking a point home. Big Balls with the 2 points. Starts pole tomorrow. Wizard just behind Stephen. Alfie and White hold the 3rd row on the grid. Brewer's just behind the Renault teammates. Max is completing the 4th row of the grid. Spud and Hobbsy on the 5th row of the grid. So you've got that championship fight between Mats and Hobbsy, haven't you? And then you've got Big Balls, who's now only 28 points behind Max with 4 Grand Prix to go. Can Big Balls cement a push to maybe even catch Max and Hobbsy in the championship? All I can say really is find out tomorrow. I think you'll say that same message as well. Tune in tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Could be a long one, probably about an hour 38, an hour 39 without safety cars. Mexico's already a long race. It's about an hour 32 dry with no safety cars. So we're in for a pretty long night tomorrow. I'm not going to lie, Stumpy. Will be quite long.
Oh, it'll be brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
You know what happened in Hungary? We didn't expect it to be that good, and it was.
Yeah, and obviously with all the stipulations we got at the minute, I mean, all it takes is Hobbsy Max to DNF or something, Big Bad Balls to win.
Absolutely. That is literally all it takes. And all it takes is Big Bad Balls to make an error, and someone else might take the checker flag.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, the other commentator this week was meant to be Jack. I'm not going to say exactly what the message was, but it's some kind of bereavement. So he said he wanted to do the commentary tomorrow, but I think on his behalf, We'll give him the week off. We'll let him gather his thoughts. And we'll bring Stumpy back tomorrow. We can bring Jack in next week if he wants to. We can bring them both in next week. It is a long race. We could do a trio commentary. That is absolutely possible. Just have to have a few discussions before the race of how that would work. But yeah, I mean, we'll give Jack a break tomorrow. And then, yeah, Stumpy, maybe we'll have you back in the commentary box if you're free.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'm just showing this on stream. It's not the actual race. I just wanted to see what the pit stop strategy. So it says if it's dry, soft, medium. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Ridiculous.
That's not going to happen. I'll tell you that. But yeah, of course, some people we have questions that need to be answered. How long is the rain going to last? When's it going to go to winters? When it's going to go to dry? And with how many laps left? Because they can use whatever compounds they want. It's a wet race. If they want to do a double soft to the end, if that's plausible, then they can do what they want. What is going to happen though? It's going to be a strategic masterclass, isn't it? Because you could do. Okay, let's say the rain goes halfway, which is, a good chance of that happening. Could you go mediums to the end? Yes. Could you do 2 sets of soft? Maybe. Could you do a soft medium? Who knows? No one knows. You can't practice for this stuff.
No, not when we don't know when the rain's going to end. I think, if you're going, say it is halfway and you go for the mediums to the end, how much are those tyres going to hurt in the last laps? Is someone going to be quicker, go for, say, a medium soft and make up a lot of time on you? It is going to be great to find out what's going to happen.
Right, that's it from me and Stumpy. Thank you, Stumpy, so much. We will be back in 23 hours' time exactly to begin the 71 laps of a very wet Mexico circuit. Please do join us then. Good night.